Ladies and gentlemen, so here we are. The stage is set, the lights are dim, and the world is watching you. My dear, you are at the center of it all, a masterpiece of resilience, a force of nature that no one, not even they, could break. They thought your world would crumble when they left. They thought they'd leave you shattered, begging, questioning your worth. But what they didn't anticipate, what they couldn't fathom, is that your greatest revenge is not anger, not confrontation, but your happiness. Yes, your happiness, untouched, unshaken, and untainted by their betrayal. Let's start with the beauty of it, shall we? They expected your tears to water their ego, for your pain to validate their sense of power. But instead, you smiled. Not immediately, of course. It took time. Healing always does. But you did it. You rose like the phoenix from the ashes they tried to bury you in. And that burns them more than any angry words could ever. They thought your soul was fragile, that their absence would leave a permanent scar. They underestimated you, and they made a grave mistake. You didn't just survive, you transcended. You didn't just cope with the silence they left behind. You filled it with your own strength, your own resolve. The absence of their presence didn't create a void in your life. It created space for something new, something more. They couldn't break you, no matter how hard they tried, because you were never built to be broken. They thought they could leave you in ruins, reduced to a shell of who you once were, desperate to get them back, begging for their approval, or at least some semblance of closure. But what they never saw coming was your decision to close the chapter, to move on. They thought your tears would speak louder than your actions, but you proved that silence speaks volumes. In the absence of their lies and betrayal, you found truth. Truth about who you are, truth about what you deserve. Your happiness, your peace, your joy. It's the most exquisite revenge. It's a kind of power that they cannot comprehend. They live in the past, tied to the mistakes they made, drowning in their own regrets. Meanwhile, you have walked away, gracefully, firmly, untethered by their presence, liberated from their control. While they try to make sense of their own confusion, you continue forward, basking in the strength you've found through your own transformation. Understand this, they thought they could control you by keeping you in a constant state of chaos, by destabilizing you emotionally, by planting seeds of doubt. They never understood that the more they tried to tear you down, the more they made you grow. Every cruel word, every careless action, every betrayal was nothing but fertilizer for your growth. They didn't break you, they fertilized the soil for the person you were always meant to become. You are a tree that now stands taller, rooted deeper, and more powerful than they could ever imagine. Your happiness is not a luxury, it is your armor. It's the sword you wield, the shield you carry, and the reason you keep moving forward. In a world that thrives on drama, on conflict, on revenge in its conventional form, you have chosen a path that is far more potent. You've chosen peace. You've chosen a life where your inner world is no longer influenced by their toxicity, their drama, their attempts to manipulate your emotions. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a message they will never understand. You see, their attempts to control your emotions, to keep you in a constant state of grief or anger, were all strategies that failed the moment you chose to live outside of their influence. They wanted you to crumble, to lose yourself, to sacrifice your peace for their ego. They couldn't stand the idea that you could find happiness without them. They couldn't comprehend how your strength could grow in the absence of their love or attention. But that's because they don't know the first thing about you. They don't understand the quiet power that comes with reclaiming your peace. So when they look back at what they've done, When they try to make sense of why you've moved on, they'll wonder how they lost you without ever realizing they were never truly part of your journey. They never had the power to define your worth, to hold your happiness hostage, or to control your narrative. They thought they would always be a chapter in your story, but they never realized that they were never the author. You were. It's a hard truth to accept, but here it is. Their absence is not a loss for you. It's a gift. It's the space you needed to flourish. You can't force someone to stay who never truly valued your worth. You can't hold on to something that's slipping away, and you certainly can't beg someone to stay who doesn't appreciate your light. The moment you let go, you released yourself from the chains that once bound you, from the shackles that kept you from seeing your true potential. And that is the greatest revenge, your liberation, your peace. Now, as you stand here today, stronger, wiser, and more powerful than ever, you understand what they could never grasp. Your happiness is not dependent on anyone's approval. Your peace is not conditional upon their presence. They thought you needed them to feel whole, but you are whole on your own. Your completeness was never tied to another person's validation, and they'll never fully understand the beauty of your independence. They'll never grasp the depths of your inner strength, because they only saw the surface, and the surface is always deceiving. What lies beneath is unshakable, unbreakable, and untouchable. So go ahead, live your life with the kind of joy and fulfillment they never thought possible. Let them see you thrive. Let them watch from the sidelines as you build a future that has nothing to do with them, a future that is brighter, better, and more beautiful than anything they could have ever imagined. You're not just surviving anymore, you're living, truly living, in a way that leaves them in awe of your resilience. And let's be honest, that's the best revenge you could ever have. It's not about rubbing your success in their face. It's about living in such a way that they can't deny the quiet victory you've achieved. It's about walking away from the past and into a future that is entirely your own, where their influence holds no sway over your emotions, your decisions, or your happiness. You owe them nothing, not even a response to their attempts to stir your emotions. Your greatest revenge is the life you build without them, the peace you create for yourself, and the happiness you found despite their efforts to break you. They may never realize the extent of the pain they caused, but they will see the life you've built without them, and that, my friends, will be enough. They may not be able to understand it, but your greatest revenge is not the one that involves confrontation, anger, or seeking retribution. Your revenge is found in the beauty of your life, in the peace you've cultivated, in the strength you've discovered, and in the happiness that flourishes where once there was hurt. It's not about making them feel anything. It's about making sure they know, without a shadow of a doubt, that their absence has not and will never define you. So go on, live your life, live it loudly, live it fully, and live it on your terms. Let them see what they lost. Let them witness what they couldn't break. Let them watch as you thrive, unbothered, unshaken, and completely unbothered by their absence. Because in the end, that is your greatest revenge. It is not found in fighting battles that were never yours to begin with. It is not about dragging the past into your present or carrying the weight of bitterness on your shoulders. Your revenge is in the freedom you found when you stopped depending on others for your sense of worth. Your revenge is in the wisdom you gained, the lessons learned from your pain, and the strength you developed through the adversity they caused. You see, they thought they could break you by leaving, by betraying your trust, by making you feel as if you were insignificant. They thought that by walking away, they could erase the value you had in their life and in the world. But what they didn't account for is the quiet power that comes from learning to stand tall when the world tries to knock you down. They thought that when they turned their back, they were taking something from you, but in reality, They were merely giving you the space to reclaim your own power. They underestimated the depth of your resilience. They thought you were fragile, that the foundation of your life was built on the shaky ground of their presence. But they were wrong. You were never dependent on them to be whole. You were whole before they came into your life, and you will remain whole after they've left. The truth is, they couldn't handle the strength that was within you, the strength that they never saw, because they were too focused on taking what they thought they deserved. But now, you are learning to appreciate that strength, to understand its roots, to nurture it. And this is where their mistake lies. They never saw you as a force of nature, as a being capable of weathering storms and emerging stronger. They thought you were just another person, another face to pass by in their lives. But you were always meant to stand the test of time. They were only a chapter in your story, not the author of your destiny. As you move forward, they will never truly understand the depth of your transformation. They will never know how you fought in the quietest moments, how you rebuilt yourself piece by piece, how you refused to let their absence define you. You didn't just survive the pain, they made you thrive. You took the lessons they offered, whether intentionally or unintentionally, and you turned them into stepping stones. You grew stronger, wiser, more aware of the things that truly matter. And the beauty of it is, they can never take that away from you. They can never take away your growth, your peace, or your power. They may try to diminish you, to belittle your journey, but the truth is, they are the ones left in the shadow of their own actions. While they try to make sense of the destruction they left behind, you continue to build, to create, to live a life that is unapologetically yours. Think about that for a moment. While they are stuck in their own turmoil, their own regrets, they will watch from the sidelines as you continue to rise. They may not say it aloud, but in their hearts, they will feel the weight of their decision. They will feel the echo of their betrayal every time they see you standing tall, every time they see you moving forward with your life, every time they realize that you were never broken by their absence. They might try to convince themselves that they were justified in their actions, that they were right to walk away, but deep down, they will know the truth. They will know that they left behind someone who was capable of greatness, someone who was worthy of love, respect, and loyalty. They will know that they were the ones who missed out on something extraordinary. And in that realization, in that quiet moment of reflection, your revenge will be complete. But here's the thing. You don't need them to acknowledge your worth. You don't need their validation to know that you are valuable, that you are worthy of love, happiness, and peace. The fact that you have found your own peace, your own happiness, and your own sense of fulfillment without them is the greatest proof of all that you are stronger than they ever gave you credit for. And that, my friend, is something they will never be able to take from you. The truth is, their absence has created an opportunity for you, a chance to step into the fullness of who you are, to embrace the person you were always meant to be. Without them, you have found yourself, not in the way they wanted you to, but in a way that is uniquely yours. You are no longer defined by their presence or absence. You are defined by your own strength, your own resilience, and your own journey. You are the master of your own destiny, and you have proven to yourself that you can walk through fire and come out the other side unscathed. There is no greater revenge than that, because in the end, it's not about making them pay for what they've done. It's about proving to yourself that you are worth more than they ever gave you credit for. It's about showing them, and more importantly, showing yourself that you are strong enough to survive and thrive without them. It's about reclaiming your life, your peace, and your happiness, and knowing that you can stand on your own 2 feet, no matter who walks in or out of your life. So let them watch. Let them wonder how you're able to move on so easily, how you're able to smile again, how you're able to find joy in the smallest things. Let them wonder what magic you've found, because the truth is, it's not magic at all. It's your power, your resilience, your ability to rise above the chaos and find your peace. And that's something they could never take from you. Every day, you are living proof of the strength that lies within you. Every day, you are showing the world that you are not defined by what others do to you, but by how you choose to respond. And the response you've chosen is simple. You choose happiness. You choose peace. You choose to live a life that is free from the chains of resentment, free from the grip of anger, free from the toxicity of people who don't deserve a place in your world. And that, my friends, is the greatest revenge. It's not about holding on to the past. It's not about seeking retribution. And it's not about making others suffer. It's about letting go, moving on, and finding joy in your own life. It's about taking control of your narrative and deciding that your happiness is not for sale. So walk proudly, my dear, because you are a living testament to the power of resilience. You are the proof that no one has the power to break you unless you allow them to. You are the proof that your greatest revenge is not anger or confrontation, but living a life that is filled with peace, happiness, and strength. Let that be your legacy. Let that be the story you tell, because in the end, your happiness will be the final word and nothing else will matter. When you stand tall, when you've truly embraced your power, when you've walked the path of healing and self-discovery, you'll understand that nothing else matters. Not their words, not their actions, not their regrets or their apologies. None of it will matter, because the one thing that does matter, the one thing that will always remain, is your peace. And no one, no matter how hard they try, can take that away from you. Your peace is the ultimate reward, the ultimate act of defiance against those who sought to disrupt your life. Let them wonder. Let them look at you and wonder how you've come so far, how you've managed to continue smiling, to continue thriving, to continue moving forward without them. They'll wonder how you managed to let go of the past so effortlessly, how you managed to find happiness despite the hurt they caused. They will wonder because they won't understand. They'll never understand the power that lies in choosing yourself, in choosing happiness, in choosing a life that is free from the weight of their presence. You know what they fail to see? They fail to see the strength it takes to let go. They fail to see the courage it takes to release someone from your life, especially when that person once meant the world to you. They fail to see the resilience it takes to move on, to rebuild, to start over from a place of hurt. But what they don't understand is that the moment you choose to walk away from the past, you free yourself from the chains that once bound you to them. And that is where your true power lies. You don't need them to be complete. You never did. The moment you realized that your happiness, your peace, your life didn't depend on them, you stepped into a new realm of freedom. And once you tasted that freedom, you couldn't go back. You could never return to the person you were before. You knew what it felt like to stand on your own, to stand strong, to stand free. And now, as you walk forward, you will realize that the only person who truly matters in your journey is you. You are the one who has the power to shape your future. You are the one who holds the pen to write the next chapter of your life. They may have been a part of your past, but they are no longer a part of your present, and they will never be a part of your future. They had their chance, and they let it slip away. They chose their path, and it led them away from you. But you chose yourself, and that will always be the most powerful decision you could have made. What they never realized is that the way they treated you wasn't a reflection of who you are, but a reflection of who they are. They projected their insecurities, their fears, their own unhealed wounds onto you, and they expected you to accept it, to live with it, to suffer for it. But you didn't. You refuse to be their emotional punching bag. You refuse to let their darkness seep into your soul. You chose to protect your heart, to heal, to rise above their toxicity. And in doing so, you broke free from their influence. You stopped being their victim, and instead, you became the hero of your own story. And isn't that the most powerful thing of all? That you have the strength to choose your own happiness, to choose your own peace, to choose to live a life that is free from the emotional prisons others try to trap you in. They thought they could control you, manipulate you, keep you locked in a cycle of pain. But what they didn't understand is that you were never theirs to control. You are your own person, with your own dreams, your own vision, your own power. The greatest revenge, my friends, is not to stoop to their level, to play the game of manipulation and vengeance. The greatest revenge is simply to live a life that they could never have imagined for themselves. You live a life of peace, of joy, of strength, of resilience. You live a life that is not defined by the past, but by the future you are creating. And when they look at you from the outside, when they see you thriving, when they see you moving forward, they will feel the sting of their own actions. They'll realize that they made a mistake, that they walked away from someone who was more than they could ever handle, someone who had more love to give, more strength to offer, and more beauty to share than they ever understood. And they will be left with nothing but their own regrets, their own mistakes, their own empty spaces. And they will know, deep down, that they had a chance to be part of your life, but they threw it away. And you'll be just fine without them. Because your greatest revenge, your greatest triumph, is the life you have built without them. It is the peace you found without them. It is the happiness that you've created within yourself. The joy that comes from knowing that you don't need anyone's validation to feel complete. Your greatest revenge is the fact that you've moved on, that you've healed, that you've grown, and that you are thriving without them. They may never understand it. They may never see the true depth of what you've become. But that's okay, because it's not for them to understand. It's for you to know and for you to own. You've done the work, you've done the healing, you've made the choice to live a life that is centered on your own happiness, your own peace, and your own growth. And nothing will ever take that from you. In the end, when you look back, you will see that your happiness was always the ultimate act of defiance. You didn't need to confront them. You didn't need to scream. You didn't need to demand anything from them. All you needed to do was live. You needed to live with purpose, with intention, with peace, and with joy. And that, my friends, is the most powerful message you could ever send. The message that says, I am enough, I am worthy, and I do not need anyone to complete me. I am whole, I am free, I am happy. And that is where your greatest revenge lies. It lies not in making them suffer, not in getting even, not in proving them wrong. Your greatest revenge is simply living your life, unapologetically, freely, and beautifully. And as you do so, as you continue to rise, as you continue to find joy in the small moments, to celebrate your victories, no matter how big or small, you'll realize that you've already won. And in the end, nothing else will matter. The world will continue to turn, time will keep moving forward, and life will unfold with all its complexities, joys, and challenges. But when you look back, you'll see that the only thing that truly mattered was the choice you made to live for yourself, to create a life that brings you peace, contentment, and fulfillment, regardless of the presence or absence of those who once tried to break you. There's a powerful freedom that comes with realizing that your happiness doesn't depend on anyone else. When you stop seeking validation from others, when you stop allowing someone else's actions to determine your self-worth, you unlock a whole new realm of possibilities. You realize that you are not defined by the relationships you've had, the people who walked away, or the ones who betrayed you. You are defined by the choices you make each day, the choice to heal, the choice to grow, and the choice to embrace your life fully, no matter the circumstances. That freedom is what will carry you through the toughest times, the moments when doubt creeps in, and the memories of the past try to resurface. You will stand firm, knowing that you are the author of your own story. No one else can dictate the narrative, and no one can take away the happiness you've worked so hard to cultivate. It's a power that cannot be touched by the hands of others, no matter how hard they try. When you live with this kind of freedom, it becomes impossible for anyone to control your emotions or your peace. People will come and go, and their actions may sting at first, but their absence will no longer hold power over you. You will realize that, in the grand scheme of things, their absence is simply a chapter that has ended in your life. It doesn't erase your worth, it doesn't diminish your potential, and it doesn't take away the love you have for yourself. They may never understand this truth. They may continue to live their lives, carrying the weight of their own insecurities, regrets, and unresolved issues. But that is not your burden to bear. You've already chosen a different path, one that leads to peace, strength, and self-love. And as you walk that path, you will become the person you were always meant to be, free from the need to seek approval from those who once held a place in your life. You have found a deeper connection with yourself, one that transcends the external. It is a connection that is built on the foundation of self-respect, self-care, and self-worth. You have learned to love yourself in ways you never thought possible, and you've discovered the immense power that comes from embracing your own company. In this space, you are untouchable. You are whole. You are enough. When you let go of the need for revenge, when you release the desire to make others feel the pain they caused you, you step into a space of true liberation. Revenge can consume you, tie you to the past, and keep you tethered to negative emotions. But your greatest revenge, the one that truly matters, is living a life of peace, joy, and fulfillment. It's thriving in ways they never expected. It's growing beyond the limitations they tried to impose on you, and it's embracing the person you've become with pride. This is not about holding grudges or wishing ill on others. It's about realizing that the best way to move forward is by focusing on your own life, your own happiness, and your own well-being. And in doing so, you will naturally distance yourself from the toxicity that once surrounded you. The weight of the past will fall away, and you will be left with a lighter, brighter future, one that is full of endless possibilities. The beauty of this kind of freedom is that it doesn't require anyone's permission. It doesn't require anyone's approval. It doesn't require anyone to validate your worth or recognize your growth. You are free because you've decided that your happiness matters more than anything else. You are free because you've realized that your peace cannot be compromised by others, and no one can take that away from you unless you allow them to. As you continue on this journey of self-discovery and growth, you will notice the power of your presence. You will see that your energy shifts, that you radiate a sense of calm and strength that others can feel, even if they don't understand where it comes from. You've learned to live authentically, to stand tall in your truth, and to embrace all the wonderful qualities that make you who you are. And this energy, this authenticity, will attract the right people into your life, those who respect you, value you, and support you on your journey. You will also notice that, as you live for yourself, you begin to attract opportunities that align with your values and dreams. Doors will open, not because you're seeking them out, but because you've created space for them by living authentically. The universe has a way of aligning itself with those who choose to live with integrity and self-love. And as you continue to grow, you'll realize that your life becomes a reflection of the choices you make, the energy you put out into the world, and the love you give to yourself. Let them wonder how you've done it. Let them question how you managed to rise from the ashes and create a life that is full of peace and joy. They won't understand it, and that's okay. It's not for them to understand. Your journey, your healing, your growth, these are your personal triumphs, and they don't need to be validated by anyone but yourself. You may have once sought their approval, their love, or their acceptance, but now you see that the only approval you need is your own. The only love you need is the love you give to yourself, and the only acceptance you need is the acceptance of who you truly are. And once you embrace that, once you understand that you are enough just as you are, you will find a peace that transcends any external circumstances. The past is gone, and the future is yet to come. What truly matters is this moment, the moment you've chosen to step into your power, to embrace your happiness, and to live a life that is true to you. This moment is all you have, and it is enough. You are enough, and nothing, absolutely nothing, can take that away from you. And in the end, nothing else will matter. The opinions of others, the actions of those who hurt you, the memories of those who left, they won't matter because you've built a life that is filled with peace, joy, and purpose. You become the person you were always meant to be, and that is the most powerful revenge you could ever have. It is the ultimate victory. It is the quiet triumph of living for yourself, of choosing to rise above the pain, and of creating a life that is full of love, light, and fulfillment. And that, my friends, is what will truly matter in the end. In the end, your greatest revenge lies in the life you build without them, in the peace, happiness, and strength you create for yourself. They thought they could break you, but instead, they only made you stronger. By choosing to move on, to live a life centered on your own joy and growth, you've already won. Their absence no longer defines you. Your resilience and inner peace do. And as you thrive, free from their influence, you'll realize that nothing else matters but your happiness and the powerful life you've chosen to live.